Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gary Liberatore.
Meteorologist James Tafasio in for Eric this week.
And James, so many accidents like this one right here between a car and a pickup truck at Clinton and West Street in Whitesboro.
And there's been so many across the New York State Thruway this morning. It's just been very, very tough travel conditions.
That's for sure. Check out these photos right here sent in to us by some viewers. And check out the standstill that's coming up westbound. We do have some video from the Thruway camera at exit 32 in Westmoreland, where you'll be seeing here the traffic is at a standstill right there. One viewer who called the newsroom that I spoke to said that people should absolutely not be on the Thruway. The conditions are so bad. She saw vehicle after vehicle, including a number of tractor trailers off the roadway between Utica and Westmoreland. And James, the question now is, when will this all let up?
It's going to take a little bit of time. We continue to see scattered snow showers, and we're going to continue to see scattered snow showers not just this afternoon, but into the evening and into the overnight. The one positive thing that we can say is that the heaviest snow has already fallen. We've seen those 1 to 2 inch per hour snowfall rates set up right across the Thruway corridor, right between exits 32 and exits 34. The snow is going to continue, and it's going to continue to fall heavy at times, but it's not going to continually fall at that heavy rate. We will begin to see much lighter snowfall as we head into the afternoon, more showery like snow. Winter weather advisories remain in place until 6 p.m. this evening. Our snowfall map has not changed. This is until 7 p.m. tonight. We're still seeing that very narrow band of higher totals. We're seeing some higher totals of over 6 inches in Whitesboro, 5.5 inches in Frankfort, 2.5 inches. 2.5 inch range for the city of Utica, and Utica is right around the 5 inch mark depending on what part of the city you're at. Around the state, visibility is low, and that is because snow is falling at quite an intense rate, and it's also quite windy outside. We're tracking blustery conditions today, and it's going to continue to blow that snow around and make visibility relatively poor. It's 30 degrees with light snow, and as I was mentioning, there's that 21 mile per hour wind out of the west-northwest. We're going to continue to see windy conditions as we head into the afternoon, gusts in excess of 30 miles per hour. Zooming into the strongest part of the band, we have very heavy snow working across just south of Utica, just east of Oneida Lake, and a lot of heavy snow back to the extreme western Oneida County. Coming up, we're going to take a further look at how long this snow lasts, as well as how much we can expect tonight. As for today, snow and wind continues with highs around 33. Gary?
James, thanks. We are not alone in the first bout of winter. Poor Florida. Yes, Orlando in the 40s today. They're not used to that. Record-breaking cold for November 11th is being felt from northeast all the way down to Florida. NBC's Aaron Gilchrist joins us now from a very chilly Atlanta with more.
We knew it was beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Well, it's starting to feel a lot like Christmas here in the South as well. And folks in this part of the country really aren't used to it being this cold this early in the year. We even had flurries here in Atlanta yesterday afternoon. The reality, though, is that this polar vortex that's dipped down into the states is affecting the Midwest, the Southeast, the Northeast as well. We saw plenty of snow, more than an inch in some parts of the Midwest yesterday into today. There were many accidents as a result of some treacherous, dangerous roadways, more than 100 in Indiana. There were injuries there as well. The snow also hitting parts of Tennessee, North Carolina, even here in Georgia. And that lake effect snow is impacting parts of western New York as well, dumping tons and tons of snow in that area that those folks maybe are a little more used to. But again, folks here in the South are not used to the cold that we've been seeing, with wind chills in the teens and 20s to start out Tuesday. We also saw, as we were sort of moving around in this area, trying to get a feel for what people are dealing with, at the zoo in Atlanta, they had to wrap some of the goats. They're wearing coats in some cases, trying to keep those animals warm. And that's just a sign of what's to come. Although we do know that later this week we expect temperatures to climb back above 70 degrees in this area, a little more normal in the south. And of course, winter, the actual winter solstice, is still more than a month away. Now back to you.
NBC's Aaron Gilchrist, where the goats are wearing coats today. President Trump once again turning to the conservative Supreme Court, this time to try to get the civil verdict against him that found him liable for sexually abusing and defaming writer E. Jean Carroll, forcing him to pay her $5 million. A jury in 2023 awarded the judgment after it found Trump liable of sexual abuse following Carroll's allegations that he assaulted her in the dressing room of a Manhattan department store back in 1996 and later defamed her during his first term by referring to her allegations as a hoax and a con job. A separate appeal that Trump filed to overturn Carroll's $83 million defamation judgment last year in a separate case tied to his defamatory comments about her while president, and after the $5 million verdict failed in September. It is unclear whether the High Court will take up the civil case. The Madison County Sheriff's Office continues to investigate a shooting in Wampsville. Sheriff's officials there say a 24-year-old man was shot in the neck just before 7 last night at a home on North Court Street. He was taken to a Syracuse hospital, but luckily he is expected to survive. Sheriff's officials believe this was a targeted shooting. They say there's no danger to the community. We have reached out once again to the Sheriff's Office for more information within the past hour, but still no word yet on an arrest in the case. But anyone with information is asked to call the Sheriff's Office at 366-2311. A Utica man is accused of sexually assaulting a 12-year-old girl. State police arrested 34-year-old Darren Dunsmore after he was indicted on multiple felony charges, including rape. State police say Dunsmore knew the victim's family and engaged in sexual acts with the girl on more than one occasion. The investigation started in January. And we are staying on the story. It's been 8 days now since a man was shot in a residence hall on the campus of SUNY Morrisville, and still no word of an arrest. The victim is not a student. He was shot in the neck, and state police said his injuries were not life-threatening as well. All police are saying in this case is that there is no danger to the public. Of course, we'll keep reaching out to state police to learn more. And continuing coverage now on a story we first told you about yesterday at noon. The union that represents corrections officers at the Marcy Correctional Facility is calling on an apology from a state senator after a civilian employee committed suicide in the prison on Friday. And now that state senator has responded to us. Let's recap the story. First off, rescue crews rushed to the prison early Friday morning. Corrections officials tell us 55-year-old Abdallah Hadian, who was an imam employed by the Department of Corrections as a civilian, entered the administration building early Friday morning and used a firearm that he brought in to take his own life. And yesterday, the New York State Correctional Officers and Police Benevolent Association, or NYSCOBA, called for an apology from State Senator Julia Salazar of Brooklyn for her remarks following the tragedy. Salazar, who was the chair of the Corrections Committee, publicly questioned why security staff allowed a civilian to enter with a firearm. The union says that DOC's policy does not require staff, including civilian employees, to pass through magnometers. Entry is managed through clear plastic bags for personal items and random pat-down frisks, and Hadian was not selected for the random pat-down on Friday. Now, the union says in this moment of shared sorrow, our elected leaders should be focused on one thing: the well-being of the men and women who walk into these facilities every day under immense strain. Well, Senator Salazar responded to our request for comment and says, quote, "Instead of taking this moment to reflect on what could have been prevented this tragedy, NYSCOBA is attacking me as the chair of the Corrections Committee for accurately recognizing that a man was allowed to bring in a loaded gun into a prison. That is what happened, and nothing they say can change that. To be clear, I did not name or attack NYSCOBA at any point in my statement." She goes on to say, "The news here should be that a man tragically took his own life inside of a state government facility and understanding why that happened. As a lawmaker, it's part of my job to ask how this happened, which is what I am doing. That's my job, and NYSCOBA is essentially telling me not to ask these questions."